Hello, my name is Jen Hersh. I'm one of the corrective exercise specialists here at Crossroads Chiropractic and Wellness. Today I'm actually sharing with you one of my favorite kind of hip opening flows for low back tightness and essentially glute tightness. So a lot of times if we've been sitting a lot or playing sports that put a lot of demands on our hips, we'll end up getting tightness right in through here, tightness in through here that kind of goes up into the low back. So this flow could be done with or without percussion support. We have a Pure Wave device here. This is the one that we recommend here in office. I like this one just because it's really easy to use. It's simple, it's not overly aggressive. So I use this for a little additional myofascial release with this flow, but that is optional. So I'll show you how to use it and also how to do this without. What we really want to start with is putting our hips in what we call a 90-90 position. So in this 90-90 position, essentially the bottom of this foot right here, I got black socks on so it's hard to tell, is in the same line as my big toe right here. Hence 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Now just know that anything I show you is going to be to tolerance, and that if I'm sending this video to a client, I've gone through and evaluated them to make sure that this is a good fit for them. So if you ever have more questions about this, go ahead and book with me in office. But through this process, in order to get hips moving, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push through my feet and turn my knees, right? Turn my knees. Now, if going into this position causes you some tightness in through here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this percussion device on, and I'm going to use it through this tissue in the front of the hip into the back of the glute med. You can also use this very, very gently on your tailbone. And what I'm doing is I'm holding this in areas until I feel heat. For the sake of the video, I'm not going to do that. But while I'm doing this, what I'm trying to think about is squeezing the lower part of my glute and squeezing the inner part of like hamstring and adductor. So I'm pushing my hip into the ground to feel hamstring, feel adductor, and then relieve some of the pressure here with the massage gun. If you do not have a massage gun, what you can do is you can kind of put your thumb here and massage that tissue when you're in this position, squeezing the internal part of the leg, squeezing the hamstring, lower glute, in order to get the lower part of that complex to kind of kick in, while telling this upper part like, hey, not your job. You don't have to do that right now. You can do this on each side, and then what I like to do is transition is I'll work through that rotation, work through that rotation. Now, if you're kind of scooting forward on the floor, that's normal. If you need to use your hands at first, that's okay too. You can scale this in any way that makes sense for you. Once you've got some pretty healthy movement through there, what I like to do is to then rotate into a pigeon stretch. So I'm going to rotate through, I'm going to straighten this bottom leg. This leg is at 90 degrees as you can tolerate, and then I'm going to stretch into it. I like to look past this knee, so looking this direction. So I'm getting that stretch to kind of go up the back. So what that looks like on this side, right, is we're here doing one of those numbers. Now, any level of this is acceptable. This is as far as you get, and you're feeling that stretch to this back glute, that's fine, right? Or then you've got this too, where you can stretch this direction. So you can scale any level of that you want to get that stretch through that glute complex. So after you've done your 90s, you've done some of those pigeon stretches, the last piece of this, which is the most advanced version. So use any scaling of this that you feel comfortable with, right? Done a couple of those stretches. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this position, pull my foot in, push my knees into the ground to feel a nice stretch through here, and then you're going to feel that glute and hamstring elevate you. Then I want to control it back down, come back over, squeeze glute and hamstring, feel that nice stretch here, and then control it back down. Because what we've done is we've loosened the overactive tissue, we've gone through, mobilized the joint, and now we're activating the hamstring, lower glute in order to get, and also using your core through that too, right? Retraining the body essentially to use those in extension to take pressure off your low back and your hips.